bit. All right, here we go. Cool, so really, really nice looking moon tonight. Even lower, thank you. 13.6 days old, 98.4% illuminated. Almost due south right now. Saturn and Mars lead the way towards the west. Got this new light pollution reducer filter from Orion today, so that's what you're seeing right now. It's been stormy for a while, finally cleared. Always feel very lucky when we get this view. Some really great libration-only features that I was labeling Mare Undarum and Mare Marginis. To the right of Chrysium, always cool. So what's up, Justin, Vicky, Vision, Jacqueline? What's going on? Who else is hanging out with us tonight? Bet there's some people around. Hope you guys are doing well. Vicky, you were saying I was watching a show on the History Channel about volcanoes, etc. They had this crater, but they didn't know what caused it. Maybe a meteor, but not sure. It had a same single protrusion. So, you have a name of that? Are we talking about the moon, or are they talking about Earth? Because lately, you know, going through this atlas, I've been noticing these domes, or at least what they call these dome craters, or shield volcanoes. So there are all these different, much smaller features that are kind of a little bit different. So I'm not sure if, do you have a place you want to zoom into? Yeah, I'm hungry, but not hungry. You know that feeling? When you're hungry, but there's nothing you want to eat. Even though pretty washed out tonight, lots of yellow haze. This filter is allowing me to bump up the contrast and the saturation a bit, so we're definitely getting some nice color. That bluish tone on Mare Tranquillitatis. The crater was on Earth, right? Yeah, I'm not sure which one that is necessarily, but I would venture to say that some of the stuff we were talking about, or that we watch about on the Electric Universe and the arc discharge, must have happened on Earth as well. What is the mountain, like the flat top mountains? Also, you know, another big one is, you know, what do you think about petrification and fossilization of things that were just mid-eating, or like things like that, like this kind of instant fossilization? Just feels like that has something to do with the whole electrical discharge. I mean, if we really kind of take that whole thing with the electricity being the undercurrent, pun intended, of these features, then it would seem likely that on Earth you'd have similar looking features that, as you'd have on the moon. Of course, you know, Titan and Io. It's just fascinating to be able to be on a planet that has its own formations, and then to be able to see moons that have similar formations. Jupiter and Saturn have these kind of, you know, liquid metallic hydrogen, it seems. But they all underlie, you know, the geometry that underlies it is truly, you know, electric, dendritic, hexagonal, you know, crystal lattices. I mean, the instant petrification thing has been, in plain sight for so long, but it's really just like one of those incredible questions. Like if let's say, 160 million years ago, when apparently we had this massive cataclysm that wiped out the dinosaurs, which is almost stated as pure fact at this point. It's just this crazy thing where, in the electric universe, you don't need this kind of time frame to achieve this layered effect, which is now kind of talked about in terms of hundreds of thousands and millions of years. Perhaps it took a lot less time. And some of these fish that they find that are like half eating and then are like completely frozen or like turned into stone. I mean, this is mutation of elements, almost alchemical in a way, like what zap hit Earth to turn these things into rock. And then I think I talked about it maybe like a couple of years ago when I was doing some weird deep dives, but the whole idea of Medusa. Actually, no, it wasn't that long ago. I guess the idea of Medusa and Venus being an electric comet and the idea that there was an electric discharge that turned things to stone would match up with this idea of Perseus and Medusa and the snake head, the beast from Clash of the Titans. So the snake with the woman that turned warriors to stone. This could be a great mythic archetypal analogy to instant petrification via a beam of light from the eye of Medusa, which when Wal Thornhill and those guys talk about the electric universe, planetary alignment, they talk about they've mentioned this before, but they don't kind of make that correlation with the fact that Medusa turned things to stone. But they definitely made a reference to the fact that Venus had this kind of some of the archetypes of Venus, like Inanna and Ishtar, had these wavy hair archetypes and like filamentary discharge, essentially. So I kind of came to the conclusion that it also could be, have something to do with that, where people, I guess not everything turned to stone, of course, right? So you wouldn't have everybody, but maybe some parts of the planet got zapped so hard that things essentially turned to stone in front of live people, and that must have been unbelievable. So the record kind of just becomes this whole thing where it's a mythological story about this beast that turned men to stone. See, that makes a lot more sense to me than this idea of like an asteroid hitting Earth. Vicky said in SD, there's a petrified forest like in Arizona, South Dakota, right? Yeah, like in Arizona. It also has this area close by that looks like a painted desert. Too strange. Right, like the patchwork stuff is definitely, it feels like conductive patterns, the stuff we see in electric arcing. And like the pillar of salt in the Bible, that is something I'm not too familiar with, but I assume has something to do with fossilization. Lots of birdies. I love it. No transits as of yet. Let's get some tunes going here in the background. Yeah, I mean, it might have come close, and then as it pulled away, it left like it just had a blast discharge. I mean, the thing, it seems like it just happened instantly. Like, how would these things, not stop eating or just be blown apart? But you have these fish with half of a fish in their mouth that are literally stones. So it's just pretty crazy. I mean, that's just the image that I'm referencing because that's the one I saw, but there are so many, you know, fossils like that that are mid-action. Hey, what's going on, Daryl? Evening, sir. All right, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Right, thanks for the refresher. Now I remember reading about that. I mean, I guess you could also take Orpheus and Eurydice. You know, it's just a recurring archetypal theme, but it's, you know, that's the type of stuff that I find very interesting because it's there. I mean, those are the records. It's like looking into our archives and taking it seriously. Just getting a little zoomed in shot over here. Right around the Mare Imbrium region. Justin, I gotta say, it does kind of seem like the sun provides this type of light reflection off the moon after watching it for quite a while. Just because of the phases. And it happens, you know, you get to see phases on other planets as well. It seems like the sun is causing at least a majority of the light, or at least whatever energy is causing that glow to or whatever the ion sheath or the planetary sheath to glow is coming from the direction of the sun. You know, whether or not it's like directly like a flashlight on a shiny surface, you know, it's not necessarily that simplistic. And Vision is right, yeah, 8% of the light is from the Earth shine. You know, the words are not necessarily, you know, this idea of shining, and that's just taken way too simply. Vicky says, yes, all of them are saying right records and not myth. Well, you know, after a while it just becomes kind of, you start, well, in school they tell you it's mythology, and when you grow up and you read all these books, you know, everybody's kind of learned the same thing, so they're indoctrinated and essentially take everything as just like, oh, that's so cute. They had these stories about Mars and Venus and they just named them that way, and that's what it is, just deal with it. But and then after a while you start seeing all these ancient alien shows where they start misinterpreting the data to create stories. So after that you start realizing, you're like, wait, what are these myths, and you know, what were they trying to tell us? And like, what are we doing right now? You know, we're archiving data by being online, tweeting, doing streams. So our ancestors were essentially doing the same sort of thing. And it seems like we'd be wise to heed their words and drawings. Essentially, yeah, you're right, Daryl. It's kind of Yeah, when there's a new moon, there's no earth shine. So it's really varying as it goes through different phases. Just hanging out over here near Langrenus, Mare Fecunditatis, Messier A and B. It's definitely a bit washed out tonight, but I love this libration area. Mare Indarum, Mare Marginis. I'm just thinking about going over to Saturn and Mars for a moment. Vicky, sorry I went back to the wide shot. Were you talking about Langrenus? There are a lot of features on the moon that look like characters to me. Lots of different languages. Some are like numbers and letters together. I'm sure people who know different languages will probably notice different things periodically. Daryl says you can see the left-facing rabbit in the moon right there. Yeah, you know, the feature that I see on the moon is this kind of big wolf head made up of all the Maria, and it's kind of, I guess the eye of the wolf for me is either Aristarchus or Copernicus. Actually, no, the eye is Kepler, and the mouth is kind of made out of the, points downwards towards Tycho. And it's kind of just this giant wolf head. The rabbit always just disappears for me, in a way. Yeah, I'm just gonna go completely wide and see if I can adjust the contrast and you'll see this wolf that I'm talking about. In fact, maybe I'll just rotate the lens too. Alright, so that should be the wolf facing left. Almost like it's a coin, like a quarter. Let me know if y'all see that. Unless y'all stuck on a rabbit. Justin says, I think we're looking at the art of God. That's very possible. I mean, you could call it that for sure. So looking at it right here, so you see where Tycho is, Tycho crater, is the tip of the chin, right? So imagine the wolf head is like the entire Oceanus procellarum. The nose is Mare humorum. Wait, is that humorum? That is, yeah, Mare humorum and Mare nubium are kind of the mouth. So Mare humorum is the nose, the eye is Kepler, and then the kind of ears go backwards up to the top near Aristarchus. The neck goes down to Serenity, Tranquility, and then it's just kind of the head creeping out. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it just is the wolf, but I guess, you know, because the wolf association with the moon. Vicky, you see a giant-headed mouse that has the body of a Michelin man. Yeah, the body is not necessarily a wolf, that's for sure. It's not like the rabbit has the whole body. This is just like the wolf head. Like imagine it was the bust of a wolf, like on a coin. You know, there's this other like much deeper pareidolia that I've seen before, like basically on the full moon or this moon, where you can kind of squint and the whole thing is almost like a scene in a fishbowl. And there's this woman just walking on the edge of this fishbowl and a giant like scenery behind her. And maybe I can turn it and show you guys what I'm... You sort of see the wolf now? Vision says I still see Dumbo. Yeah, definitely a bird. What's up, Super Must See? Yeah, it's really nice and clear tonight. So I kind of wanted to flip it, but I can't because of the camera and the HDMI cable. So just straightened it out. But essentially, if you invert this whole thing, Tycho becomes like a sun in the background of this, you know, almost snow globe. And underneath the sun, there's this city, like a town in the background. And this woman is made of all the Maria on the right when it's flipped. But someday I'll show you all. It's like one of those magic books where you have to focus for a while. You don't have to cross your eyes, but you just really have to kind of get inside that idea. Bust up some of this saturation, a little bit more color.
Light
the guy from Chichen Itza. You rotate the world only half a degree. You'll see the girl from Ipanema. And his eyes are two old lights, and his mouth a slight smile. There's a bright little light where his heart would be tonight. And you'll find it broken off, and if you rotate the moon a mere 90 degrees, you'll find the guy from Chichen Itza. Straight lines out of the Mares Ridges Mountains. They look like a huge V. Are you looking at Mares Serenitatis or like Tico region? I mean, or are you looking at the kind of the rays from all the different craters kind of across the whole surface of the moon? Because, you know, like, you know, taking from Tico upwards, it definitely looks like a V shape, but, you know, also looking downwards, you got the peace symbol almost. Like the three rays are super prominent. A little bit like Proclus, like the three prominent rays. Just at 120 degrees from each other. What's up, Baz Pierce? How you doing? Welcome. Just reading some chat comments and jamming here a little bit. PK sent you over. Let me know if you have any questions. There are links in the description for the gear and the music. Yeah. So, tiny little numbers on a screen. track and jam over it. I don't know, I kind of need to not talk so much tonight. I talked for like 4 hours yesterday, got this scratchy throat today. I'd love to kind of go in, but I rested a little bit and just noodle. Let's find a little backing track here. Epic emotional. I'll just start in blues a little bit. Yo, peace out, Justin. What's up, y'all? It got hot again. Just ripping up a little Phrygian scales over there. I know the distortion's a little tinny, but I don't know, I was trying to get in the zone over there for a bit. Maybe take a little break. Yo, what's going on? Downscale, how you doing? Thanks, Jacqueline. Chris Astro, it's going bad on your stream. Sorry to hear that. feel I should probably go over and check on Mars. I was kind of hoping for something to cross in front of the moon. It was such nice clarity tonight, but that bottom right corner is looking really sharp. Chris asked her what software are you using? Are you trying OBS? It took me a while to get the settings right. I just watched a bunch of YouTube tutorials and like, have you done like just a private stream where you just do it for yourself and test it on another computer? You just get the settings right that way. It's 1:30 a.m. Just feeling pretty good. That's the moon without any contrast adjustment. A little washed out, but nice and clear. You really take some contrast there too. For that. Sort of, yeah, still using this LPR filter as well. OBS with a Zero ASI 120. Yeah, I think I have the 224 and it doesn't work so well with OBS. The ASI cameras work a lot better with Sharp Capture, which doesn't have such a great interface, but yeah, I haven't been able to really run the ASI cameras. Maybe there's some drivers that you're missing. I'm sure you've tried stuff though. Sir. Just yawning a little bit. But it's looking nice. I'm gonna stay on for a bit longer. Top right corner looking really cool behind. I feel on the vibration side. Let's see what's going on with the Atlas. Top right corner is Mari Humboldtianum. Gonna get that one. That's a new one that I read about yesterday. Underneath that, Riemann crater, Gauss, Berosus, and Hahn. All to the top right of Mare Serenitatis. I dare not even zoom. I'm sure it's too washed out to see any real details. We could probably get down around Mari and Durham. Underarm. Yeah, like that. There's what looks like a ring of young, small craters. Yeah, cool little ring of small white craters to the south of Langrenus, around 5 o'clock position. I would say this is south of Mare Fecunditatis, and you can see a little bit of Chrysium at the top with Mare Indarum, that kind of wretched, tortured lunar surface. South of Langrenus, got a bunch of different craters. Let's see what we got. Vendelinus, Ansgarius, such just cool names. Kastner, Balmer, Gibbs, and Hectius. Just naming some of those small craters that we're seeing. Von Behring, Barkla, Langrenus G, Lamé. Yeah, of those. What's up, SJ Sharks fan? Crispy. That's for sure. Little wibbly moon, but seeing is good. Yeah, detail is not bad around Mare Crisium, Proclus, Mare Tranquillitatis to the left. Oh, that's cool. There's the area to the left of Proclus, the kind of hexagonal shape, is called Palus Somni. If I can click on it. There we go, Palus Somni. Interesting formation, 200 by 100 kilometers. It's that kind of area to the left of Proclus, and then to the left of that there's Sinus Concordia, Concordia. That's that kind of area with the little MI. Let's see if the MI thing has, MY thing has a name. It's called Cauchy. Cauchy? C-A-U-C-H-Y. And the Sinus Concordia. Yeah. And then there's like a little mountain range beneath that. That's Da Vinci and Lawrence. And then there's like a ring crater underneath that. That is Taruntius, Rima Taruntius. That's that bridge between Fecunditatis and Tranquillitatis. All right, let's check around Tycho. Looking mighty nice tonight. Center peak kind of washed out a little bit, but the rays are looking big and bright. Terminator line that we were looking at yesterday with Schickard and Schiller has moved, so both of those that were very prominent yesterday are now like kind of shallow looking, flattened out. This whole region, the kind of oblique craters. Hey Jacqueline, take it easy. Have a good night. Yo, what's up, Tom? Damn, the yawns have got me. Y'all, damn. Just cruising around this Terminator line, moving up north past Mare Humorum. These are some features we didn't see yesterday. Got a slew of craters here, one at the very rim of the Terminator, an oblique crater, and to the right of that, like a flat board crater, that is Grimaldi. Quite large, almost like a little mare. Grimaldi is, let's see, about 222 kilometers in diameter. Very dark, circular formation resembling a mare. Cool. And to the left of that kind of crater that's oblique right on the edge. I'm trying to find that name right here. I want to say that's... Let's say Riccioli. Yeah, that seems like it. Circular formation, 146 kilometers in diameter. Just looks a little different in the atlas, but that's it. And then to the right of the screen, you can see Kepler. And up to the top, Rainer Gamma and Rainer. Yo, what's up, Harmony Smurf? And to the left of Rainer Gamma, you got Cavallarius and Hevelius underneath that. These are some of the newer features as the Terminator moves through. Vicky says that's it. The Greek letter. Which one are you? Is it at the bottom of the screen, or you just point it out? I'm gonna keep it centered. Thanks, SJ. The O with the upside down V. All sideways V. I'm trying to picture which one you're talking about. Are you talking about on the actual Terminator line, the one with the high walls next to Grimaldi? Or is it the pyroclastic formation in the Mare, like in between Kepler and Grimaldi? I feel like maybe I could change up the lens and get a little closer. This area is not looking too bad. These are some great craters coming up on the Terminator line. You'll have to send me a link to the letter so I can match it up with what you're talking about. Yeah, like Aristarchus and beyond Aristarchus looks really, really cool. Let's see what these craters are. There's this kind of, that's Eddington, which is about to show up. It's almost like a little, half-rimmed crater. Several small ones popping around. Cardanus, Craft, I want to say. Yeah, Craft with 2 F's. And then that circular half crater is Eddington. To the left of that, Seleucus. And then you got Briggs and Russell to the north of that, with Lichtenberg at the top. Really nice. I feel like maybe get zoomed in on Aristarchus tonight too. So I'll be right back. Let's change this up. Into myself in a dream, I tell ya. Locked doors, no flaws in this fantasy. Take the night, cause everything's meant for your pleasure. You found a home, you found your map, you found your treasure. When you lay your mind, your face, the needlessness to rest. What's up, y'all? That's it for me. 2:11 a.m. Passing out over here. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Maybe it's clear tomorrow. I'll be on. Keith, thanks for stopping by. Moon addicts for sure. Moon dogs. Sorry. I know, man. It feels really satisfying to do this work. Good job. Yet again, another night in the books. Glad you guys had some good skies too. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Vision, I know you're still around. Vicky, take it easy. I'll catch you all tomorrow, everybody. Peace and love.